During the Dark Age of technology, there seems to have been a lot of knowledge about the warp. We see this in the technology the Imperium uses still, such as gellar fields and warp engines. What we know less about and what I'd like to speculate on are two elements of this: how they could manipulate and use warp energy, and how this could have been used to aid the Men of Iron. So welcome friends to another 40k video, and let's begin. First, the warp tech used in the Dark Age of technology. Let's show you their wares. First, gellar fields. When a ship enters the warp, the energy could destroy them. So a gellar field is projected out from the ship to create a normal bubble of reality, keeping the fizzing warp energy out. The warp drive was invented in M18, likely by a man of stone, as it's around this time that mankind first ventured out into the stars. Men of stone with men of iron as their hands. This accelerated how far mankind could spread within the galaxy. Now there is warding tech from the Dark Age that keeps demons in and out. These are used by the Grey Knights. This is important as it introduces to you the idea that mankind could manipulate warp energy during the Dark Age with wards. It goes like this. Wards are techno-arcane devices that project subtle energy fields capable of influencing warp emanations. There are two types, hexagrammic and pentagrammic. Hexagrammic wards are designed to protect against psychic attacks, as the wards siphon away the energy of the imperium, channeling it into harmless static energy. Pentagrammic wards exist to defend humanity against demons and the corrupt energies they wield. When complete, pentagrammic wards block warp entities and are often so potent that even approaching one is enough to damage or banish a demon. I think those wards are part of a bigger theorem, and that's how Dark Age tech used the warp. They are likely in warp drives and gellar fields to manipulate warp energies without the need for a psyche at that time. The Leagues of Votann are another example, who left early in the Dark Age. They have war tech. Examples being used will be like this. In one novel we see Jodiki interact with a ward-locked Fane, and she uses empiric, i.e. warp energy, to unlock it, and in addition she uses corvs, i.e. small computer devices, to interact with the Fane, which are amongst other things a way the Votann can communicate. This uses warp tech, as do the Votann ancestor cores. So we see that tech used by these people who left during the Dark Age, and so I propose they could manipulate warp energy, use these wards, and that the ones we mentioned with the Grey Knights are a few of a much larger language, one that lets them manipulate the warp. We gain further evidence when we look at how well Dark Age tech can manipulate the warp without psychers. We have the Leagues of Votann wayfinders who can calculate paths through the warp. We see in the novel Scatarius a gellar bomb is used to manipulate the warp without a psyche power source indicating it can access the warp energy without that need. We see in a heresy novel a Dark Age bit of tech that can manipulate the warp. It's called the Tabula Myriad, an AI. In the presence of the abominable intelligence, bathed in cold logic, and the truths undeniable, the false construct was cleansed of its corruption. Lennox watched the impossible on the rune screen. The demonic presence was banished from Lenk 4 of 12. The internal light died in his eyes like tumorous growths before the intensity of radiation. The menial's corrupted flesh withered. And we see how psychers can be used to power these devices when the elegant language of wards is mostly forgotten or goes unrecognised. We find this with the Call Engine, a Dark Age bit of tech that acts as a focus for the Astronomicon, strengthening nearby its energy. The engine behind it can also burn away demons and move warp storms, and this is in the Dark Age tech, and I think would originally have done this using the warp formula they knew to call on the power held within the warp as soul equals energy. In the crude time of the Imperium, we are told the Call Engine required human psyches to act as both its foci and its fuel. A psyche in there can last from 3 to 7 days. Their life force and psychic abilities are drained. That time after service was done, burnt husks are taken out. The pit is sanitized before another is added. How thoughtful. Perhaps as due to it being linked with AI and the cybernetic revolt, its original command mind might have been burnt out. So you see how psychers as a power source didn't need to be used back during the Golden Age. I tell you all this to build up the image. There is an AI on board a ship called the Speranza, an Arc Mechanicum ship that has men of gold knowledge and an STC within it. but it seems very concerned when it learns that its body might be destroyed. The Speranza also seems really chilled about it, and what would happen if its ship host was badly damaged. It says, even this iron shell is destroyed, I will endure. Where could it go? Yes, maybe some imperial cogitator, but that might limit its vast mind. So I think that during the Dark Age of Tech, where the manipulation of warp energy was made easy, that at least some of the men of iron could manipulate their minds and move them into the warp through the manipulation. And remember, the warp was karma during the Dark Age, and then download themselves back into a new body when they wanted. The warp is full of souls, but to an AI, it's just another type of energy to manipulate. And like the Tabula Myriad, they manipulate it to store their data there, i.e. their personality and memories, before downloading themselves into a new body. I realise I just repeated myself there, but I'll push on. We see this attitude to bodies within the Ironkin, who are treated as equals by the Leagues of Votann. It's said on Warhammer Community, at the moment of their creation, Ironkin are made up of two distinct parts, the cerebral unit, or CU, and their unique body. Though they can exist purely as a CU for extended periods of time, owing to built-in microfield generators, they are not truly whole until installed into the body made for them by the Votann. We see an Ironkin's body being destroyed within the Votann novel, but he knows he will get a new one, and I think that's natural, that your body's resources would change and evolve with your wants, because you're an AI, you don't have that one set mode. From an iron housing to nanotech, it would be all the same. I propose this attitude was held by the men of iron, who advanced into being powered by the warp and upload their minds there when they wanted. I also think any warp corruption to the body, not due to demons but due to the handling of empiric energy, could be reversed, as we see the Tabula Myriad do. Perhaps they had super powerful bodies powered by soul energy. We see Dark Age tech used in the making of the Psi Titan. You'll see how that's relevant in a moment. It goes a little something like this, by the Siricrux Anima. Through the use of the Siricrux Anima, a warlord sinister titan is able to project psychic phenomena on a truly gargantuan scale, although without any of the nuance of fine manipulation available to an individually trained psyche. These phenomena include waves of preternatural fear, psychokinetic effects, biomantic teaching of life in the immediate area, and even the temporal distortion-based reversion of damage to the Titan itself. But now the most powerful use of the psychic potential of the Siricrux Anima is the focusing of its power through a unique weapon system, the Sinistromanus Tenebrae, which is a beam of warp age energy. And again, this Dark Age device is not powered by psychers like gellar fields and the Coral Engine are in Imperium times. I propose it would be powered by the manipulation of warp energies with this suite of wards. Could someone of iron have had similar abilities? The manipulation of warp energy to heal their bodies could be a big one, but it also can set you on fire and send out waves of emotions, which would be great at crowd control and might let you control or manipulate Xenos that attack mankind's Dark Age Empire by making them scared before a beam of warp energy strikes them down. And if the warp energy was so easily manipulated, could it have been tamed for the day-to-day, people in the Dark Age manipulating it so it would be normal for them to use it in their technology? We can only speculate. So let me know what you think to this theory. It does repeat quite a bit of what I've covered before, but I felt I got enough new insight to bring that back to you here to set a full picture in order. And if you like this video on the Dark Age of Technology, why not try this one? And if you want a lot of videos on it, lots of theories, why not try the playlist on the channel?